Flight crew, please prepare for takeoff. At this time, I'm going to ask that you fasten your seatbelts.
If I weren't doing my work,
Right.
that might trigger me. But because I'm doing my work, and my work has shown me, oh, defined head and ajna, she's fixed. I'm not her guide. She
Right.
doesn't want me to be. This
Right.
isn't a conversation. This is her
Right.
sharing.
Right.
And so now I even will ask her, well, can I share something with you?
That's why you asked me. I was like, yeah, why not? We're here in a conversation.
I'm being really aware of it, that a generator or manifesting generator, they need can I ask you this? They have their yes or no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, that's a good one. You were trying to ask me yes or no questions. That's cool.
Well, because
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to how I am in the world,
Mhm.
and as a guide, and I'm just like downloading constantly. I
Yeah.
have the answer, but I'm aware that it's my answer.
Right. Right.
And before I just go spouting my answer, do you want to know?
And that's the invitation that that's how you can bring in the invitation for yourself. Because I'm get to say yes or no. If I say no, okay, there's no invitation. So cool.
And I know to trust that, to not take it personally, because if you say no, it's not that you don't want to hear it, but just in this moment, it's not that.
Not now. Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah.
Maybe later. And if it's meant to come through me, later the opportunity for later will come through. And it's not about
it's not about you trying to bring in your fixed head to the other, your incoming stuff to the other. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
And also it's interesting because what I've noticed, and maybe, I would like to hear, and also an invitation, is that I don't have a lot of chatter. I don't get a lot of chatter. There's a lot of stillness.
I can get that because I get the chat. I experience, my daughter has a completely open head in Ajna. And she says, I'm going crazy with everything. I can't, she's overwhelmed. And I go like, I get that because you're all day long. She works in the cafeteria, well, in like this park where where you can rent houses and such, and she works in the restaurant. She's a manager there. And I said, you're all day long, you're with all those people, and all those people have thoughts and stuff, and you're taking everything in, and you have no clue what to think about because it's totally open. You don't have a clue. You have no gate to give it a direction. Yeah.
It's like an open window to a room.
Right.
The rain came in. It's
still
there.
Now you have to mop up. Yeah.
So I don't have that, but I noticed that some people with defined heads and ajnas do have that, and they cycle.
Well, maybe that's which activation they have, or
And then, like you were describing, people with open, they're open windows. It's all just coming in,
Yeah.
I think that's something that I admire about Trey, is that even though he just has the 3, spleen, sacral, root, he's not in his head. Like when he's in the creative process, he's so in his body and he's just moving. And he'll look at something and he just kind of like, oh, this, like he's not, there's not a whole lot of this. So somehow he's learned to stay.
Yeah. And what I'm almost sensing with the creativity, that he is taking everything that it's in the field and he lets the body just work with that energy that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you said he is in his cave. So maybe because he is in his perfect surroundings, because what I've learned is that caves really don't want, he's a caves, right?
No, Elizabeth, who lives with us, is a cave.
Oh,
He's a narrow valley, but he's
okay,
taking
but
all that stuff.
yeah,
And
but yeah, but yeah, okay, okay. Then it doesn't count what I wants to say.
yeah, so yeah, I think she does take everything and then go down into her cave and process it.
Yeah.
But I also notice with her, there's so much definition in her field that I'll ask her, hey, do you want to go do you want to go for a hike? No. No,
Mhm.
no, no, no. And I understand that as a projector, that can feel to me like not being received or
Right.
recognized.
Mhm.
And I work hard at not taking that personally. And then I'll just, when it starts to build up and there's a mountain of no, then I just stop asking because I know I'm on the verge of bitterness,
Right. Wow.
and that's my stuff.
Right.
So I just stop asking
Yeah.
and then I just do,
And that's
Then
what
I
I call unplugging, because then you're unplugging. That's her process, and she can't take from you anymore. That's something I learned from Cynthia about the unplugging. I already did that kind of, but she really did it like really conscious. And when she shared that with me, I became more aware of it as well. And I was like, yeah, if it gets to the personal, if you're for me, it's the anger and frustration. If I start to feel that, then I need to unplug. And my biggest one was with a friend of mine that I have, also a projector, but a self. She has the G defined, so it's a self. I don't know. But she was very ambivalent, and she wanted to be or wanted to make an appointment with me, and then never got a date, and then finally got a date, and then she canceled, and it went on for 2 years. But I love her. When we're together, we have like 7 connection, channels. So of course you feel with each other, you feel natural, but it got to me, and I know it's not personal. I got that far. And then I went like, but if somebody's draining my energy, because she only comes in the field when there's a problem, when there's something with a relationship or this or that, or, then she comes to me. And first my ego was, she needs me. And then I saw, but it has to be a two-way street. It has to be, so I unplugged.
So when you talked, I would like to know more of what unplugging means to you. I get the example, but is it thoughts? Is it body? Is it like, what does it feel like?
For me, it's not unplugging from the heart, because I still love her.
Right.
And love is, so big, you can't unplug from that. You can love whoever you want, if you're in contact with them or not. I learned that way back with my husband. You know the story about us, right? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I unplugged from him and from her, from maybe it's even from the sacral. I don't want to give my energy anymore. And I was giving my energy to her. I was giving my attention to her when she needed me, and nothing came back. So I was pouring and pouring, like you said with the bakery when you did a soul reading for me. That they're taking from your oven, but you can only bake so much. You can't just.
So if we go to Bantu, right, you're here to endure or persist at service and serve with persistence. But you're also here to share feelings and feel through sharing. So if you're persisting at service and you can't share your feelings,
then I need to unplug.
And I love what you said about where well, honestly, maybe this is a question and I'm not phrasing it as a question, but I will get to that. So if you're here to persist at service and serve through persistence, while you're feeling, you share your feelings and feel through sharing, it sounds like the way you unplug is, well, here's the question. You said you stop giving your energy. Well, that's both the persistence of the root
and the service.
and the service.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like you stop sharing your feelings and feeling through sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Okay, so for me, unplugging then would be
Persistence in feeling, right?
yeah, so no longer persisting in feelings. So no longer persisting with asking, do you want to go do this thing? You know, because I don't want to feel that. So I just
Right.
stop. And then I stop knowing how to solve or solving through knowing by just removing myself and doing what I want to do.
Right. Yeah. So you're consciously removing yourself, and I'm removing myself energetically.
Right. Ooh, this is big. I mean, that could be a whole class on a whole conversation.
Yeah.
The big thing that I got for me is, you know, what we just did with the centers, using those key codes and looking at where they're connected. Because like he says, I don't have to be enduring at feelings and solving through knowing constantly.
Oh,
But when the universe needs me, I'm not going to be able to resist.
right.
I'll just, you know, it's like a magnet. The universe is just going to suck me up, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
How successful I
When you're
am.
invited by the universe or by the people that the universe sends you. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But then seeing how the arrow things, for me, what's most important is feeling joy and respect.
I have that one too, because I found my notes.
Good.
I have that too. Yeah.
Maybe I wrote mine in here in the book. Feeling good and respect, and then you know how he does the arrows, and then there's the thing on the end. Mine is adventure. Set 35, 4 planets in Sag with 1 degree out of Sag. Like, of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me. So, but then what also makes sense is Trey's is he has 3 in success.
Yeah.
He is so driven to success. So he works all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but then studying the God code, I go, well, I can invite him to have some fun.
Yeah. And he can take you on the trip for success.
Right. So I don't mind success, but I got to have some fun. You know,
Right.
It's not work,
Having
work,
fun
work,
while
work.
you're having success. Otherwise, there is no success for you. Success for us is having fun with the people we want to be with. Well, at least for me, I don't know. I think it's the same for you, but yeah.
And then I realized, so looking at Bantu, I'm at that part in the Bantu, and I've kind of, because I'm so excited by this other stuff, I'm at the relationship part of the book.
Oh, but yeah, I didn't went there yet.
Trey, I did our connection thing, and I'm a 5-star for him. So you know how he shows the connector, and it's like, you know, these 3 things, what their perfect magnetism is. For him, I'm perfect. I'm 5 stars. And that's how our relationship has always been. Like, I've always been everything to him. But he has known that he's not everything to me. And it's true. Just by myself, he's 2 stars for me. But when we're together, we get to a 3rd star.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I was like, truer words. Like,
so funny.
But then I go, okay, but how, you know, I was thinking really about what it took me back to was when we were first dating, all we did was have fun. He was the funnest person, funny and fun. And we were constantly on an adventure. Everything was an adventure. And yeah, I mean, he had a boat. We took the boat all over. We skied. We did stuff. And then as our lives went on and we had children, I think the success thing started to kick in for him,
Yeah.
that he had to be successful.
Yeah.
And then there was no, just all the fun was really sucked out.
Mm.
And then when he traveled, he would be gone for work for 1 week to 6 weeks. But then when he'd come home, he would be truly home. And that's when we had fun.
Mm. Mm.
So there was built-in time. But when he's doing his own business, he's so focused on success.
Yeah.
And that's hard to criticize, right? Because, or find fault with, right? I don't. But
no, there's no fault, but in every relationship, whatever star you've got, there needs to be a balance. There's a give and a take. So it can't be all about success, and it can't be all about fun.
And I think that, when I'm working with people and bringing in some human design, and I always say to people, look, I'm not certified in this. I've just researched a whole lot. And here's what I can share, this, is that, you're here to persist at service.
Yeah.
And to serve through persistence. I mean, people it's like putting bread and gravy. It's like, they just makes so much sense,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
think about that with the open centers, knowing that,
Yeah.
this is what we're defined for, but then how does definition and openness come together?
Mhm.
Because aren't we the combination of all of it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm even thinking now about the BG5, about the business, because when, 325 auras come together with all their definition and openness, you're probably, well, I believe it's supposed to be when you come with 5, you have to be totally full to be complete. It's all about the middle part that needs to be filled, but I'm also sensing, and I'm not sure, but that's what I'm sensing is what I'm feeling even is because I have mostly the abstract side. And I love the people with the logical side because I don't have that. And I really appreciate that. But I also feel the power of the abstract. So when the whole middle is filled and the other sides will be filled too, I feel like you got the whole field because you have the people with the knowledge and the education, and you have the people with the life's experience. So we can, like even science and religion, you have to bring those two together. You can't just live with only life experience. You need to learn something. And you can't only learn. You need to have life experience. And if somebody has the logical side, I can learn from them. I can take that in my spleen, in my open G, and, the centers that are part of the logical side. I can see and feel how that works. And I know it's not me because it opened my eyes even with the variables and the bond too, that I am not the kind of girl that can study. I never studied, for exams. I always paid attention in class. And for exams, everybody was saying, my parents mostly, you need to learn, you need to study. And okay, like the evening before the exam, I would go, I need to study, like really putting pressure. But I always had good grades. But I never studied. And even with the human design, I think I have every course almost, like legal or illegal. I can find stuff on the internet. I'm good at finding.
Yeah.
And I watched like over thousands of videos. And that's how I learn. And then I see it in action. And then I go back to the chart and I go like, oh, and I have, all my friends, I have them in my phone. And I go like, oh, and then I check. Oh, that's why you're doing like that,
Yeah.
That's how I learn.
Yeah, totally. When we know, we don't take it so personally.
Right.
We're not so triggered.
Yeah. And I'm even thinking, is triggering wrong? Because I feel trigger now in the group. So I'm trying to investigate what that trigger is. But it has to do with me, what I need. When I want to be in a team and get something going, I need people with the same passion as I do, with the same, well, not the same vision maybe, but at least the same passion to do it and the commitment to do it. And I don't have that gate commitment, but I have the stamina and, like you said, the persistence to go forward and go do something because it feels good to do it. And now it doesn't feel good anymore.
Yeah, I don't think triggering is bad either. I think for me, when I'm triggered, that's just a sign that I have something to discover.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me go into my field. And did I betray myself 5 steps back and now I'm pissed because I'm doing it again? Or is
that's
my
it.
work, right?
Yeah.
Because I self-sacrificed and abandoned self prior. So now I'm triggered because I'm doing it again. And my body's like, hey, wake up, stop self-sacrificing. Or is it that I'm triggered by somebody else's wiring and I just haven't had compassion? Is it my work or is it my understanding? Triggers bring things to light.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely.
But when a person is, my humble opinion, when a person is triggered and then they splat that all over somebody, that's the part that
that's not
it's not okay.
No.
Go figure it out and then maybe have a conversation.
Right.
But I mean, if I'm triggered and I go into my world and I go, oh, well, you self-sacrifice 5 steps back.
Yeah.
This is a pattern that I have to stop. Okay, what can I do to shift that pattern or pivot that pattern? What do I need to heal? What do I need to know? What do I need to understand? Like, that's my work. Then I don't need to go share that with anybody. That's my work.
Yeah.
But then if I'm triggered by somebody else and I understand that they were angry because they self-sacrificed and they blatted it out on me, then it's, I have a choice. Do I say to them, hey, I understand that you were angry, but is this a bigger pattern of self-sacrifice and your anger is really at yourself and, not at me?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good to be the receiver of your anger when you're making the choice, like there's a conversation, not a.
Yeah. If I'm honest, I wasn't standing in my truth. So it's not her fault. I wasn't standing in my truth because, to be honest, I didn't even want this person in the group. So, but I allowed it because I felt like I can't leave anybody behind.
Right.
It wouldn't be fair.
What a big awareness.
Yeah. And what I usually do, now we go deeper, my pattern is to just walk away because I want to do that again. And now I'm doubting, like, if that's a good thing or not, what should I do? And my husband says, well, if it's bothering you, if it doesn't give you joy anymore, why should you do it? You don't have to do it. I was like, yeah, I don't have nothing to prove.
Nothing to prove.
Right.
I love the thing that I just read from Ra about we're not here to suffer.
No, we're not. No.
Not here to suffer.
And the suffering is all here. We do it on ourselves by I love the 4 agreements, like when you take things personally, and if I keep forgetting what they are, but because they're already integrated in me. Don't take anything personal.
Be careful with your words.
Be careful with your, And
I used to have the 4 agreements taped over my desk for
cool.
20 years.
Be impeccable with your word.
Be impeccable with your word.
Right. And that's why your inner authority is so important. Because if you're impeccable with your word, you first have to listen what your word is, what your true word is.
And it's challenging because when we're in groups,
Yeah.
sometimes a decision is going to be made because it's for the highest good of the group, and groups don't often want to be held hostage by all the emotional waves in the group. You know, in academia, in my career, there's a saying about academia: nothing moves fast. Nothing moves fast in academia, because there has to be a conversation, and then people think about it, then we come back,
Yeah.
and then we talk about it some more. But you know, like now that I'm knowing human design, it's like, how many people in academia have those emotional waves?
Right.
Right?
It's funny. Yeah. Yeah, and even the 515, you know, the general rhythm. Everybody can have a different rhythm in life and be attuned to maybe the moon or the sunrise or the evening. So there's this different movement for everybody, and how to synchronize. How to synchronize.
Yeah, and then how to, when you're in a group, like there were times in my job, I could see, I was often a leader, and I could see that some people, all their decisions were made based on whether they were going to give up power. It was like their power backyard. And if they were going to have to give up any of that power, they weren't going to say yes. They could not see that maybe it was better that we made this other decision for the group. It was going to make us better for all of us, you know, if we shifted the fences a bit.
Right.
And there were some people who, you know, so I didn't always agree with every decision. I could see how sometimes the decision was going to make my life harder or not as pleasant. But I could also see that for the good of the
for
group,
the whole. Yeah. Yeah.
we needed to make that decision.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for me, I would compromise. Was that self-sacrifice? I just would learn to work on my way in the new way, you know, because
but what I'm feeling right now, what I'm getting is, but that's a future vision, I think. When we finally get to the truth of who we are, I feel we will align with the right people to work with, and then we don't have to make a compromise because we found our fractal and it all just works as a clock. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Mm-hmm. I wish we were. Yeah.
Well, listen, I hope you'll share with me after you contemplate your
invitation. I can already say yes because it feels good.
Well, let me know. If I can help you, let me know. If you'd like my assistance, just please let me know, because I feel like this is a gift for me.
And a gift for me too, because you're gonna teach me by how I can educate. You're organizing me. I feel like you're organizing and structuring the things that are inside of me. And I am honored that you are asking me to share this. You know?
I love it. I love this.
Yeah.
Well, I keep coming back to the well, you know, because it's
you have it too, right? You have the 48 too.
Yeah, I have the 48 too.
Yeah, I have it in my Mercury, so yeah.
All right, sister, I have a client. I need to use the bathroom before I start that session. So I love you.
I love you
Thank
too.
You.
Thank you too.
Soon, okay, we'll connect in a week or two.
We will structure the education.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, my love.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.